I guess what I do is sell ideas, but more importantly, I make ideas happen. And Josiah Wedgwood once wistfully wrote, "Fashion is more important than merit." And what he was really talking about, how important it is to have your timing right. Fashion is an interesting phenomenon. It seems to drive us to behave a bit like sheep. The social pressure of keeping up with trends is what drives the clothes business. Many of us, if we're honest, buy clothes almost like a child might buy toys. The emotional want instinct often overpowers the rational need instinct. You've only got to look in charity shops to see how much barely used clothing is disposed of. This is clearly not environmentally sustainable, but it does drive business. The basic premise of fashion design is someone develops an idea which, if it's successful, it will. If it's successful enough, then others will try to copy as closely as they can without infringing the law. I mean, basically, you can't lead without people following. I mean, historically, retailers are probably the worst perpetrators of this. I noticed this morning that Next is suing Tesco for plagiarism, which some might see as ironic. But this phenomena is not unique to the clothes business, and it's often hard to find something that is truly original. And most ideas are really incremental improvements reflecting the zeitgeist. Xerox inspired Macintosh, who in turn influenced Microsoft Windows. A great brand like Apple has a strong signature. It sets trends, is instantly recognizable, and constantly creates something original. They also usually have a devoted fan base too. I must admit that I'm one of them. But if you see, over the years, they've actually changed. This is 10 years ago, is an Apple iMac, then about 5 years an Apple iMac, and now you've got this example of Teutonic rationalism, which they do now. They've become a trusted source of innovation, good design and quality. The Apple brand has almost become a generic, like Hoover, Thermos, Durex. I mean, iPod is what people generally call products in the MP3 player category. There's been a certain amount of reinterpretation of other people's ideas, and this is healthy. I mean, as I said, without it, computer technology would not have progressed at the pace it has. I mean, this 1970s iconic calculator designed by Dieter Rams bears a passing similarity to this Apple iPhone here. And if you look at some of the 1970s products by Brown and designed by Dieter Rams, you might see that there is a bit more similarity. I mean, cars are a good example of incremental improvements. I mean, they would not have progressed as much as they have past the Model T Ford if others didn't copy Henry Ford's manufacturing techniques. And the fact that we're now trying to establish greener cars, it's important that manufacturers can learn off each other and that customers don't benefit, or else you get one manufacturer having a world-saving idea, but he wants to keep it to himself. Well, I mean, that's true up to a point. I mean, if businesses do not feel that they can gain a competitive advantage through exclusive ideas, they will cease to invest in their development and the market will stagnate. So it is essential for technological progress that companies feel that they are well protected against copying and they will get a return on their investment. As you've seen, Dieter Rams has clearly inspired the current Apple approach to design, but can we call it copying, even if it is 25 years later? It's an interesting one. I mean, 7 years ago, we were developing a range of bathroom ceramics for a leading German manufacturer. We'd gone for soft organic forms in a reaction to the then prevalent trend for geometrics. Nearing the end of our 2-year project, we received a call from the client clearly in a state of stress. Someone had copied our designs, or perhaps even worse, we had copied someone else's, and the project would be in jeopardy. I mean, it was quite a sort of, it was a big project for us. Anyway, when we saw the designs, in case they were indeed similar in concept to ours, but in detail completely different. We knew nothing of what they were doing. They knew nothing of what we were doing. Clearly, their designers in Italy were responding to the zeitgeist in the same way that we were in London, which happens quite often, actually. But as I said, neither design team had any knowledge of the other's ideas.